Oh, yeah, it would help if I was unmuted. Thanks, Matt. I'm over here just talking to myself. I'm like, good morning. Yeah, good morning, Tana. Good morning, Matt. Morning, Paul. Yeah, I was saying, how about that snow flurry we had yesterday, Tana, on April 11th? Pretty wild, huh? Oh, you had hail? I think that was the last hurrah. Yeah, I forget what that's called. Almost like Dippin' Dots kind of snow. Morning, Peggy. All right, so SPY, here we go. Retest gap down. Pretty nasty day yesterday. In anticipation of CPI, it's kind of funny. It's like all of a sudden now the market, like, over here, the market wasn't paying attention, or like right here, right? One of these days, market was like ripping into CPI. It's like now we rip lower into CPI, and then we bounce on the number versus ripping higher and then getting crushed. A little bit of anticipation yesterday. Number comes in high, but again, everyone was saying it's going to be high, so no big deal. 41-year high inflation, all good. I'm sure it's peaking, just like everyone's been saying the last few months. But like 4 months in a row, it's peaking. It's peaking. So yeah, I think the Fed's gonna slam on the brakes in when's their next meeting? May 4th or something like that. I think they're gonna go 50. I think they probably wanted to go 50 basis points before, but they couldn't because it was the first one. And they kind of set everyone up for 0.25. Yeah, I think over the next, they got about 3 4 weeks. You're gonna start seeing some of these Fed presidents come out and just kind of whispering, or when they are jawboning out there like, oh yeah, I could be talked into 50 basis points. That, because obviously 25 basis points didn't do jack for inflation. So while I expected a bounce, this bounce is a little bit stronger than I thought. We did reverse at some key levels, but this is a strong sell off, like especially on tech. So it's like I can't expect that we're just going to have this gap down, go down here, and then all of a sudden we're gonna like gap down here on CPI. No, we're gonna retest a little bit, probably fill this gap if you don't have hedges on the Qs, or maybe you bought some dips yesterday and you want to lighten up. A retest right into there could be a nice place to grab them in anticipation of a little bit of that. I think this area is going to be really critical, like a double bottom neckline on the Qs. But yeah, I don't think you can really say like, oh my gosh, we're gapping up, like we're just going straight back to all time highs. I don't think so. Not quite yet. Could this end up like a weird looking head and shoulders, or inverted head and shoulders? It could. We got some time for that. We also have earnings coming up, so it's going to be interesting what happens with earnings. SPY's obviously been a little bit stronger because you have sectors like XLU, XLE, which hopefully that is some type of energy position, because I do think that this is going to go higher in the near to midterm. Valuations are just so cheap and just underinvested. Thinking we can wind and solar our way to a championship by next year or something. But that's holding SPY up. Some of these other sectors. I think even like XL. I mean, look at consumer staples. Treasury rates, which were going up like an absolute rocket ship, needs a little bit of a rest. So I do think it needs to pull back a little bit, just because I don't know how sustainable a. I mean, I guess it depends on like how you zoom, but What type of angle would this be? It's like a 62% incline. I mean, it's pretty steep. So I think treasury yields need a little bit of a pullback. Pretty aggressive move there by the treasury yields. And then like bond stuff like at AGG, I mean, it's just falling straight down. Mortgage-backed securities also straight down. This is a chart that I gave the team in Slack yesterday. So the Fed was buying 30 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities, like all through here, and now they want to sell over here. Like, who eats that loss? It's kind of like if a tree falls in the wood. Does anyone hear it? Like, if the Fed takes a giant loss on mortgage-backed securities, is it really a loss because they just made the money up out of thin air in the first place? I have no idea. But it was getting a little comical, so I do think that we're going to get some type of like pullback in treasury yields just a little bit. So I'm not buying bonds or anything here, like trying to say like, oh my gosh, TLTs, even if it does come back to like 128, I mean, I'm not looking to capture that $5. I don't want to buy in this huge drop like this, but quite possible it could happen. Yeah, nothing goes straight up forever, Justin. Yeah. Nvidia. So I did sell a put on Nvidia. I thought this was like, yes, it's over earnings. I'm pretty sure. I don't think this earnings date is correct. I sold a May Nvidia put yesterday. Got 228 all the way at 165. I mean, this thing was down 5 days in a row into strong support. One of the better trends that's out there, stronger companies, it was down like 20 something percent. So I thought that was pretty easy money. So if you did buy the dip on Nvidia, I mean, and you want to lighten up into something like this, or you have Nvidia and you're worried, if we get a little rip like this and you want to grab some puts, just in case we do that, it's kind of that's the time to do it. Like Tesla yesterday, I mean, I was buying off the 100 first thing in the morning. It was perfect high wave candle. So here's the 100 on the daily. It's gapping down in pretty large gap. I think it was what, like 3%, 3.5%. High wave candle holding the 100, breaks out, and there you go. Nice little game there, depending on like how you sized it. Probably like 1.4 to 1.5, something like that. Depending on how you sized it or got filled. We did try to short it in the afternoon, which like kind of worked in here. Which amazing that like I got skipped and it didn't retest. That was pretty wild. But yeah, like I don't think it was the time to like go short, over here. Just like I don't think it's necessarily a time to go long here. I'd more likely look to short like if we get up here. If you retest this, that's probably where you're looking to initiate a short. What targets on Nvidia? If you're talking like shorter term or today, maybe it can get this gap fill. I mean, this is a large gap, and these are retest gaps. So it makes sense if they retest. I don't like SPY. Well, not SPY a little bit, but even like the Qs yesterday. Like, don't try to short things like right out the gate. Well, actually, Nvidia was a pretty good example. Like, there were some folks like, why are we shorting here? Bull candle. It's like a huge retest gap, and it's like we're out of support. Like, we're a little late trying to short Nvidia at all yesterday. So Yeah, it's just I expect some retesting. You have huge retest gaps on a lot of these things, and I mean down like 1, 2, 3, 4 AMD down 5 days in a row. Like I expect some type of retest. Herman says I can finally be in one of these lives. You're living in California. Can you tell me what time you know? Um, so for me, Herman, because it depends on like who's moderating that day. But for me, it's I'm in Boise, Idaho. It is 7:12 a.m. I start at 7, so that would start at 6 a.m. Pacific time. We might be starting a different time in May. We'll see, but that's what we do right now. Apple was a pretty nice gap down, gapped right below the 100. I thought it would have a little bit more of a retest, and only retested for like 2 minutes. So Apple definitely there was some short opportunity. I know a couple folks took it long in here, and then just kind of chopped and rolled a little bit. So if you do get some type of S curve, maybe you can take this one. Bullish. I'm not going to try to be going long way up here. Like most of the moves like this, like where it responds pre-market, like that's most of the move that you're gonna get, I think. Roblo. If this can set up a higher low for Roblox, like that'll be cool. Delta. So back up into the 100. So it's kind of stuck right there. Maybe it goes a little bit higher. I know some folks played Oxy here, or maybe you got in on a retest. Looks like it's bouncing, but you got a strong 1, 2, 3, maybe some type of weird 4. And then I do think we're going to go a little bit higher on Oxy. What's up, Ron? XOM, CVX, so they kind of all look the same. They kind of all look the same. Flowers, food. We'll see if we hit our target. I did take profits yesterday, but I know some folks had a little bit higher target. I think it got like, and 6 cents away, something like that. What was the high? Yeah, I got 6 cents from the target there. Mondelez. It looks okay. I mean, I like this hammer. I don't even know if I looked at the 100 before, but I'll probably look to just take a small gain on that, honestly. SPGI, looking for a neckline test of that double bottom. Gold. Remember what I said yesterday about gold? If we gap up above, oops, sorry, this thing's going to. I don't know if it's going to be a day trade, but nice extension, pulls back, consolidates for a couple weeks, bear candle above the moving averages, and we're gapping up. I don't know. Looks like a pretty good gap on gold. Like all the way on the bottom there. Oh, you know how Charlie Munger aped into Baba? Where was it? He was like aping in, like over here somewhere. Apparently, he aped out. But at least you can say, hey, Charlie's managing his risk. Granted, it was at some point in quarter 1, so it's probably over here somewhere. I would bet like probably this. He sold 50% of his Baba stake. So those of you that followed Charlie Munger into Baba, I don't know if you want to follow him out, but I got told like Charlie Munger, Charlie Munger. It's like cool, have fun with that. Uh, not gonna be me going with them. MOS, if you bought that dip, that looks great. CF, these fertilizer stocks, looks like another good gap on CF. Did they fix the T chart? No, they didn't, because it spun off this WBD yesterday. So AT&T was actually up yesterday because this was just a spin off. Like it didn't really gap down. Did he buy JD? I don't think so. I think he only bought Baba. I'd have to go back and look at his filings, but I'm pretty sure he only bought Baba. Oh, I'm not saying that this is like anything other than anecdotal evidence, by the way, but I did see a Lucid Air yesterday. It did actually look pretty cool. Now, maybe I saw like one of 20 that they have actually produced, but it did look kind of cool. Is that worth? I don't know what this thing is. Probably 20, $30 billion in valuation. Probably not. But I did see one on the road. I thought it was kind of neat. That's all. Yeah, these defense stocks probably going to be pretty interesting. That already went. Raytheon. This one looks pretty good too. They make lots of missiles. The hot topic right now is the Patriot missile system produced by Raytheon that most of Eastern Europe wants. We deployed one to Slovakia, I think. Slovenia. I don't know. Somewhere over there. There's L3 Harris. Elbit. This one's a little bit tougher because we're not the primary market for it. Gaps quite a bit. BP, this gap on BP looks good. It does. So, yeah, keep a lookout on some of those. I do think some of these healthcare stocks need to pull back, like UNH, ABBV. Yeah, these things, Regeneron, like, man, they've just been skyrocketing. But they are in strong trends. So if something's in a strong trend, you could buy the dip. Is today the day? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but something that's going higher. I mean, even Bristol Myers, I'm surprised Kramer is not pumping this because he's been pumping it for like a decade and it finally made a move. Here's Eli Lilly. Here's Merck. Um, Definitely not Moderna. And Pfizer. Pfizer looks okay. CNC. Anthem. Anthem. Humana. Humana doesn't look as good. Yeah, there's some cool stuff out there. Google. Um, I mean, I hope it comes lower so I can buy more. There's Amazon, Shopify doing a split. I don't think that necessarily helps them very much, but you got that. Affirm, buy now, pay never. Oh, what's the other one everyone was like chasing? SoFi. I mean, this total garbage. Made a new low yesterday. I'd stay away from these things. Just me personally. Making new lows, you gotta go. Kathy buying some more ginkgo biloba yesterday. Yeah, Arc not looking too hot. There's Teladoc. Let's see, what are some others like Fubo? I think it looks horrible. Roku doesn't look great. Square looks a little bit better. Again, it kind of has this higher low going off. That's kind of nice. Coin, like it'll Coin looked like it wanted to try to make a new relative high. It just ran into this and got rejected. I would add very, very slowly on Coin. Otherwise, just wait until it resumes an uptrend because you don't want to put your money. I don't know, maybe you do, but I don't want to put my money into something that's just going to do this for like 6 months and then it's dead money. Like wait till it resumes an uptrend, like, and then you can get in. Or buy like really, really slow. Am I long arc? No, absolutely not. No. Nope. One thing I will say is Kathy did sell a boatload of Tesla somewhere over here. I forget which day it was. The problem is she bought a bunch of crap with it. So it's usually not like you're selling something that's winning and then you're buying other junk. Probably not the greatest strategy. How about that CAG money press? I had to roll this 3-5. I think it's 22. I got 42 or 45 or something like that. XLE, we'll see how that one works out. CCL is looking pretty good. That one should be nice this week. Oh, Twitter, that's right. So Elon. I actually think it's probably a benefit him not being on the board. I don't know if he's going to go hostile or not. Now he can just tweet like whatever he wants, and no one can say like, "Oh, he's getting confidential information off the board" or anything like that. All right, we got about 7 minutes. Let's go take a look. So some of this ridiculous move pre-market is fading, so that's good. Now we can actually go long. The cash cruncher is the reverse. Yeah, the reverse. Yeah, and he can buy more than 14% if he's going to continue to buy. Yeah. He will still have to disclose, but I don't think it's as fast as if he was on the board. Looks to be some Putin news. Of course. Of course it is. Even though these things have like pretty nice gaps up, I don't know that I'm going to like rush into them long. I think I'm going to want to retest first. This is a nice gap on gold. Let me see what. I don't know about the miners. GC1 bang. Oh, look at that. Gold does trade very technically. You have a nice strong pullback. I bet you. Anyone want to guess how much this pulled back? Oh, it's almost like if you told me the 618, like, I don't know, weird. And then I had good consolidation. Looks like it's breaking out. Doesn't mean it has to work, but it looks pretty good. The crypto recovering a little bit today, was down yesterday with everything else because it's not an inflation hedge, a risk asset, just like everything else. And it kind of follow risk on, risk off with the market. IWM still looks pretty rough. It just barely got back into this channel, got rejected, especially retested it right there and rolled over. Ford had a weird bounce yesterday. Apple Pay enemy. I don't know about that one. GM's been just getting trucked. And we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I won't get into this pyramid on square. I'm cool to leave it there for a while though. All right. Any last requests from the YouTube? What y'all want to look at? Right now, energy's leading, followed by the Qs. Consumer discretionary, which basically Tesla and Amazon. Oh, yeah, let's look at Meta. Why am I typing in Meta? It's still Facebook. He got me, Zuck. He got me. I started accepting it. I started accepting the madness. Facebook just kind of hanging out. BTU. Yeah, it's an LNG play. I wish I played this. I drew it, obviously, but wish I would have played that over here. It is making higher highs, is making higher lows, so probably some form of buy the dip. Although we are getting into that time of year where it should start to warm up. So, but this is mainly like a play on Europe's failed energy policies, and probably a pretty good one. Steel is definitely going to retest. I think it's going to retest a little bit more. I would probably draw this from here, so at least into 19, but I would more like it down into this area. If you're tearing into it, maybe you could have like 1 level, 2, 3, 4, and then a stop down here somewhere. Like that on steel. CVX, I think looks bullish to me. Bullish trend, consolidation. Looks like it's breaking out again. CrowdStrike. Going down to support, bounced at resistance. They're in a long term around here. Yeah, it's got the 200 right in front of its face, so we'll see. Has not been able to really crack it the last few times, so we'll see if it can again. Until it breaks above the 200, then I would grab a retest. Otherwise, I wouldn't go long on it. Steel Dynamics. This actually looks pretty nice. Yeah, this one looks good. You got a money printer go burr on this one, Ron? All right, to the 50% retrace. All right, y'all. That is it for me on the YouTubes. Nice chatting with you. See y'all Thursday. Have a great rest of your day.